Well, hello and welcome to my latest video, and you can probably tell from the helmet that I'm wearing that yes, today I'm off on my travels and I'm on the Brompton. So where am I? Well, let's have a look, shall we? Actually, I forgot to turn the camera around, so you're still looking at me. Hang on a second, we'll get there in a minute. It looks vaguely countrified, doesn't it? And the reason for that is, it is vaguely countrified. It is the Lee Valley Country Park. Okay, so I've turned the camera around to give you a view of this opening sculpture, statue, would you call it? It's a sculpture or a statue of a Brompton, yes, and it's Julian's Brompton, and it's standing next to a piece of stone with some drawing on it. And we're about to head off along the Lee Valley path, cycle path, along the side of the, is it the Lee River? I don't know, I suppose I ought to know. Heading towards Hertford. So come with me on this exciting journey. If you saw my last video about the trip I did along the Avenue Verte in France, you might say to yourself, Julian, this is part 3 of your Avenue Verte video, because it looks pretty much the same to us. Well, no, this is definitely Avenue Verte England, although it's not Avenue Verte. And you're just going to have to take my word for it. But as I kind of pointed out in my video about Land's End to John O'Groats, when you're riding along, man there with a dog, when you're riding along in Britain or France or any other country for that matter, there's a Stuka dive bomber above us about to dive bomb me, and what you cycle through is countryside, which may sound a bit kind of trite to you, but the point I'm making is that countryside of and by itself is not necessarily all that interesting. Sometimes you come across particularly interesting or spectacular bits of countryside, and that's what we call scenic, or we call it a view or something like that. But this countryside is not dissimilar to French countryside. One difference I've noticed already is that I saw a lady with a bag and a kind of tongs, barbecue tongs, and she was picking out rubbish. And having come back from France, where of course you say bonjour to everybody, I said good morning to her, and she looked up rather sharply and gave me one of those sharp looks as if to say, "You're not in France now, young man." Young man, young man. Oh, to be called a young man again. You want to see me? I'm on the Brompton. Well, you know I'm on the Brompton because I told you I was on the Brompton. Do you want to see the Brompton? That's the Brompton. Those are my knees. Still got the bursitis. Morning. So he was polite, wasn't he? Now this sculpture, which you can't see yet because I haven't showed it to you, is called the Banded Demoiselle, and it says, I'll read it for you. The sculpture in front of you combines different metals to depict the enchanting sight of a banded demoiselle damselfly as it alights on a yellow water lily, a common occurrence along the River Lee during the summer. It invites you to sit, relax and watch the world and the wildlife drift by on the river's current. So this is the sculpture. It's quite nice, isn't it? Do they mean these are seats? Is this what it's inviting you to do? Sit down on these kind of petal-like things. Should we try that? Come on, let's try it. What if it breaks? I'll be in trouble. Well, luckily, it didn't break, so I'm not in trouble. What if it attacks me from behind? Which I want to be attacked from behind by a demoiselle. Still, could be worse things in life, I suppose. There's a little view of the Brompton in front of the demoiselle. Actually, no, that's in front of the demoiselle sign. Do you want to see it in front of the demoiselle? Of course you do. There it is. It looks a bit... oh, fuck. It looks a bit like the demoiselle is trying to mount my Brompton, or it would have done. Although in attempting the mount, the Brompton fell over. It's a shame, isn't it? Do you want to see a closer look at it? I know it's lying on the ground, but just, you know, take my word for it. There's a Cordell front bag on the handlebars, hopefully still attached. Brooks cambium saddle, and Wahoo Element Roam, which you can't currently see because it's underneath the bike. Probably got squashed. If you've seen my video of Girona, this is what's called travel name dropping, by the way. This is where you name drop lists of places that you've travelled to. Anyway, if you've seen that video, you will know that there was a very famous bridge in Girona which was designed by Gustav Eiffel, he of Eiffel Tower fame. And in fact, the first bridge that Eiffel designed is this bridge here over the River Lee. And he used this to practice for his Eiffel Tower design. It's quite nice, isn't it? I think so. That sound you can hear in the background is ducks. And now you can see them. Are they ducks? Or are they seagulls? They are birds. Birds of a feather. That's what they are. It's quite nice, isn't it? I just passed a man with a enormous great sort of trolley cart. I'm quite sure what it contained. It contained about 40 fishing rods. The man is obviously planning to fish this lake absolutely dry. Well, of fish, not of water, obviously. Look, a couple of peacocks in the wild. Don't make too much noise. It's not often you see them, is it? Do you think they'll show their feathers to me in multicolours? Or not? Haughty birds, aren't they? Snooty. Peacocking around. This is a series of fossilised dinosaurs which have been found along this cycle route. What was he looking at when he died so suddenly? Was it the meteor? Just heard the report on LBC.
That's back to the Canal that way.
They're a group of cyclists. Shall I jump on their wheel, see if I can catch them? Or shall I stay here and risk being fossilised? Fossilised YouTuber, they'll say on the sign. Give generously. Right, now the thing is, okay, I'm totally lost. That group of cyclists that I saw, I kind of met up with them and they said, where are you going? I said, well, I'm going to Hertford. And they were like, blimey. They said, ride along with us. So I did. And the thing is, I thought, in my naivety, well, actually, no, I didn't think, but I did kind of think that I was riding by a canal. But I wasn't riding by a canal, I was riding by a river. And I wanted to get to the canal. So I thought they were taking me to the canal, which they kind of were, but they kind of weren't. So then they said, no, if you want to get back to the canal, you better go off turning around, going back to that toilet block, turning right, which I did. And now I've ended up, right, They say this is a hide, but if you ask me, this is not a hide. And if you're going to hide there, you're going to be pretty easy to find. Well, you would be if anybody came this way, which I don't think they will, because we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. I mean, this could be the Amazon basin. You know, yeah, there's the Amazon basin, there's an Amazon bath, Amazon toilet, Amazon taps, Amazon shower. I think you can tell where I'm going with this, can't you? So, in that I'm now totally lost, and I don't know where the fuck I am, and may even be, actually, in the Amazon bath, nothing to do except show you the Brompton, which I did show you before and then it fell over. Hopefully it won't fall over now. But this kind of walkway that I'm on is frankly a bit rickety, and there's some holes in it. So, I mean, the whole thing could just collapse under me. And then what? Fairly famous YouTuber found under collapsed wooden walkway. Not knowing what he was doing there. Apart from taking video of my Brompton. I think what confused me a bit, and if I'm honest, still confuses me, is that I thought the canal was a canal and the river is a river. So I was looking for what looked like a canal, and I stopped a couple of guys. I said, I'm looking for a canal. And they kind of looked at me funny and they said, it's all around you, mate. So it's like canalised, not cannibalised, but canalised rivers is what these things are. Whereas I was thinking, oh, you know, canal, narrow boats, locks, what else is there about a canal? Narrow boats, locks. You already said that, Julian. Whereas in fact, it's not like that at all. So, you know, I can be forgiven, I think, for at least part of my ignorance, if not all. Anyway, here I am on this metal bridge. See this metal bridge? I'm not sure if this one was designed by Gustav Eiffel, or possibly it's of the Eiffel School. He founded a school, a primary school, secondary school, Montessori school as well, School of Fish, and taught a lot of bridge designers and tower designers how to do what he did. My helmet's a bit sloping, isn't it? What is that? Maybe it's my ears are not quite the same length. Length? Not quite the same height on my head. That's possible. Better get them tested. I'm still lost, by the way. I'm lost but not found. There's a song there. Okay, it's taken me a couple of hours of traipsing through and hacking my way through this Amazon jungle, but I seem to have come across what I originally was looking for. In other words, this, which looks vaguely like a canal. And there, as you can see, are narrow boats, and that may even be a lock in the distance. And that is looking the other way. In other words, down the canal, or is it up the canal? My sense of direction seems to have lost. I seem to have lost that along with everything else. Anyway, there is a path beside a canal. This is attractive, isn't it? It's a kind of garden boat. Boat garden?
I spoke to the GP. Take it off, he can't take metformin. He's not on metformin, he can take something.
There's a people there and a dog. Actually, that could be a problem if I'm going to try and cycle along this path, is people and dogs. One of the banes of my life. Hang on. Serendipity. That's what narrowboat life is about, isn't it? Dog, top off, standing at your tiller, floating, sailing, chugging along a canal. There he is. He's emerging behind that garden boat. There he is. Now this very attractive place, just at the side of the canal, is a wild Brompton area. What they've done is they've planted a load of Brompton, just Brompton seeds, in this area, and late May, in other words not just yet, to early July, apparently they will flower, and you can see some of the rare Brompton orchids, the tea line, that's the titanium one. You can also see the Foldium one. If you're lucky, you might get a very rare glimpse of the famous one-off Brexitanium Brompton orchid. But at the moment, what you've got is this model here of the Brompton orchid, and an expanse of grass where there are supposed to be wild Brompton orchids, but of course because it's not late May, all you can see is what is colloquially known as ground. I always find that there's something very, very exciting, very romantic about water, rivers, canals, locks, seas, harbours, all that kind of thing. They're just really nice places. I suppose in a way, particularly with canals, not necessarily the sea, but with canals, there's a calmness about them, a tranquility, a slowness. Life moves at a different pace from the rest of us in the big city. This is a lock here. It seems to me, everywhere I put this epoxy Brompton, it falls over. If I'm not careful, it's going to fall in the bloody canal. I'll keep the camera running just in case. Morning.
Morning.
Oh, I'm switching off now. Now we come, I'm not quite at block spawn, but we've got a section here where there are some kind of tents set up beside the boats. So there's either additional seating area or it's a kind of riverside gazebo. That's what we call it. There's a riverside runner there, and there's a swan, a couple of peacocks. Well, I've reached Broxbourne and this not unpleasant pub called the Crown, which obviously appealed to my Republican sympathies. Still, nonetheless, I went in. You want to see me? Yes, I went in and I ordered a pint of lemonade and lime and 2 packets of crisps. £6.45. £6 and fucking 45 pence. I said, you know there's a cost of living crisis? She said, I know, it's because of prices like these. And you want to know something? It wasn't even Rosie's lime juice, right? You know, it was that, what's that, I know, some kind of Lidl or Asda lime juice squash. And then lemonade out of a hose pipe. You know when they go like, you know when they go like that, and you get never ever go in a pub and get lemonade or cola or Coca-Cola or whatever it is out of the hose pipe. Always get the bottle. When it comes out of the hose pipe, you get shit. Right? And then, Wait for this lorry to go past. And then she said, "Do you want ice in it?" And I, of course, foolishly said yes. Never ever get ice in your drink. Why? Because it bulks up the glass, and therefore they've got to put less of the liquid in, even if it's shit liquid. You know what Woody Allen said, you know, "The food in this restaurant is terrible. I know, in such small portions." I felt like that. Anyway, I ate 2 packets of crisps and a pint of lemonade and lime, and it cost me £6.45. Am I a happy bunny? No. Anyway, this is kind of boating lake, rowing lake, whatever you call it. Well, boating, rowing part of the canal. So you can hire one of those fast speedboats there that you can see flashing past. It's not unpleasant bridge, maybe an Eiffel Bridge, not sure. And this boat here, it says, is available for day hire. I suppose that might. It's called Mr. Badger. You seen that? Mr. Badger. Might be a Badger Bodger. Now this rather odd square-shaped open area, it's quite unusual. You might wonder what this is for. Well, this was originally an arena which was built by the Romans, where they used to throw vegans, Christians, other religions, to the lions and see who won. And often the Christians, of course, got eaten by the lions, but the vegans always won, because the lions ran away. They couldn't face being in an arena with a vegan. And can you blame them? Fearsome people, the vegans. Here's the Brompton. Okay, I am replete, by the way, with £6.45, yes, £6.45 worth of lemonade and lime and 2 packets of crisps. They were Tyrrell's crisps. I'm quite partial to Tyrrell's crisps, but £6.45, you're having a laugh. You're having a laugh. Now is that John Darwin and his wife making another daring pretend escape? What do you think? Heading back now from Broxbourne. Never made it to Hertford. Got a bit lost for that. But heading back to Waltham Abbey. Hopefully won't get quite so lost this time. Here's a couple of round the world cyclists. Making good progress there. Only another 18,000 miles to go. Pedal on, intrepid travellers. Pedal on. Look at that. Ducks and baby ducklings floating serenely up the canal, or down the canal, not sure which. I'm not 100% convinced, if I'm honest, that I'm capable of riding along on this fairly narrow canal path, beside some fairly narrow boats, beside the water, one-handed, holding a GoPro, while narrating, thinking about other path users like these cyclists, without coming a cropper. I mean, do you see what I mean? I mean, it's close, isn't it? It's close. I'm doing my best. I mean, this is all for you, you know. It's all for you, my loyal viewers. Things we do for YouTube. I think it's only fair to say, and I'm not trying to be critical here, but some of these boats look like they may have seen better days. And if I'm honest, some of them look like they haven't seen better days. But the people around seem to be pleasant enough, enjoying the lifestyle. I'm going to have to stop now because there's other path users. It's okay, thank you. Actually, they stopped for me. They probably realised if we don't be careful, if we're not careful, that old duffer's going to fall in the river and will be blamed. And it may be that is still going to happen. Let's hope the camera's running when it does. Well, this is another nice part of the canal. I've actually come past Waltham Abbey, so gone a bit beyond where my car is parked, and just looking for a place called the Narrowboat Cafe, which I can see signs for, but I haven't actually found yet. This is looking the other way. As you can see, there's the Brompton, looking very fine on this bridge. Got a bit of a tickle in my throat, I'm afraid. So could do with finding the cafe, get something to drink. Well, I managed to find it, the Narrowboat Cafe. You see that sign there, available for private hire dog water? I mean, why would you hire dog water? I mean, what, the dog drinks it, pisses it, and they give it back. Here you are, here's your water, bit used. Never mind, sir, we can recycle it. I think this is a place. I may be going out on a limb here, but I think this place is designed for children. You see what I mean? What do you think? Designed for children or not? Oh look, Neil Armstrong. Life-size model. Children must be supervised by an adult at all times. Yes, but who's supervising the adults? That's what I want to know. Who's supervising Julian NB1? I wonder if I've got 10p and allow me to go on that little car there. Always wanted to do that. Now the bit that confused me, and you may think I'm just being silly here, but I was looking for a narrowboat, and as you can see, the Narrowboat Cafe is not a narrowboat, but it is a cafe. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Well, I end today's ride at pretty much the place I started, because this is, well, that's hardly surprising because this is where the car is. This is Waltham Abbey, and this is Waltham Abbey of Waltham Abbey fame, the last of the abbeys to be dissolved during Henry VIII's dissolution. I read that on the notice board. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little bimble around the Lee Valley as much as I did. Very enjoyable. Weather's been nice. Brompton's been fine. It's only fallen over 4 times. I managed to keep out of the water. Consumed, what did I consume? Oh, a pint of lemonade and lime, plus 2 packets of crisps, £6.45. And then in the Narrowboat Cafe, which I didn't film, by the way, because they had some radio playing in the background. I didn't want a copyright strike. I had a Bakewell tart and a chocolate milk because my voice was a little bit croaky. Anyway, if you like my videos, please like my videos. Please subscribe, please share, please hit the notification bell. And do remember that my channel raises money for www.dec.org.uk, which provides humanitarian relief for Ukraine. Thanks for watching. See you next time.